All right, let's talk about Spanish. If you're learning, you have definitely run into the past tense. I mean, it can feel like a total maze, right? But what if I told you it's less about boring grammar rules and way more about storytelling? Seriously, stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll have the keys to tell any story from your past.
You know that feeling? You're staring at a sentence, totally frozen, trying to figure out which of the 5 past tenses to use? Yeah, you are not alone. It is for sure one of the biggest hurdles for learners. But the way out is actually a lot simpler and more intuitive than you think.
And here it is. This is the secret. It is all about perspective. So just for a second, forget memorizing endless rules. The real key is asking yourself, am I reporting a finished event? Like taking a photo. Or am I painting the background scene, like shooting a video? That one little shift in thinking, it's going to change everything for you.
So let's build out that foundation. We're going to start with the 2 most important past tenses. I promise, once you get the relationship between these 2, everything else just kind of falls into place.
Okay, so here's the big metaphor for this whole explainer. Think of the preterite as a snapshot, a crisp, clear photo of a single completed action, done. The imperfect, on the other hand, that's the background video. It's the continuous footage of the scene, the setting, the vibe. A snapshot versus a video. That's it. That is the key.
So first up, let's grab our camera for that snapshot, the preterite tense. This is your go-to for any action that is clearly finished, over, and done with. Think of them as single, contained points in time. The preterite is basically the engine of your story. It's what moves the plot forward. When you say, Ayer compré un libro, yesterday I bought a book, that action is over. It's a finished snapshot in time. Same deal with El año pasado viajé a España. Last year I traveled to Spain. It happened. It's done.
Now, looking at the nuts and bolts, you can see each ending is pretty distinct. But hey, pay super close attention to those accented vowels, especially on the yo and al/ea forms like hablé and habló. Those little accents, they are absolutely crucial. They're not just for decoration, they literally change the entire meaning of the word.
And of course, it's Spanish, so we've got some irregulars. Here are the big ones you'll see all the time, but listen, do not feel like you need to memorize this whole list right this second. Just be aware they exist. Go ahead and screenshot this for later, and let's keep going. It's all about recognizing them at this stage, not perfect recall.
Okay, now for our other core tense. This is the one that builds the world around our snapshots. If the preterite is the action, the imperfect is the atmosphere. It's the background video that was playing when you took that snapshot. See, the imperfect doesn't really care about beginnings or ends. It's all about what was happening, what things were like, or what you used to do. De niño jugaba fútbol. As a child, I used to play soccer. We don't know when it started or stopped. It was just the ongoing reality. It paints the picture. Eran las 13 y llovía. It was 3 o'clock and it was raining.
And you are gonna love this. After that list of irregulars for the preterite, get ready for some amazing news. The imperfect tense is incredibly regular. In fact, there are only 3 irregular verbs in the entire tense. Just 3. How great is that?
And here they are. Ser, ir, and ver. That's it. That's the whole list. Everything else follows this beautiful, simple pattern, which makes the imperfect, mechanically anyway, one of the easiest tenses to get the hang of.
Now, seeing them working together, this is where it all clicks. Era and hacía are in the imperfect. That's our background video, setting the scene. It was late, it was cold. Then, bam, 2 snapshots in the preterite. Oyó, he heard a noise, and se levantó, he got up. That's the action. That's what moves the story forward. See that dance between them? It's awesome.
Okay, so with our foundation of preterite and imperfect solid, we can start adding a couple more tenses that give our stories even more depth and nuance. Let's check out the compound tenses.
And the best part is, they all follow a super simple recipe. You just take a form of the helping verb haber, which is kind of like to have in English, and then you add the past participle of the main verb. It's a simple 2-part formula every single time.
First up, we've got the present perfect. Now, this tense is all about connecting the past to right now. You use it for actions that happened in a time period that isn't over yet, like this week or today. So you might say, Esta semana he trabajado mucho. This week, I have worked a lot. The week's not over, right? So that work is still relevant to what's going on now.
Next is the pluperfect, which is, put simply, the flashback tense. You use it to talk about something that happened before another thing in the past.
So imagine you're telling a story. Cuando llegué a la fiesta, mi amigo ya se había ido. When I arrived at the party, my friend had already left. See? Arriving is the past snapshot, but your friend leaving, that happened even before that.
So we've covered 4 tenses. Now for the big question, how in the world do you choose the right one when you're actually trying to speak? Let's break it down into a really simple, practical checklist.
So next time you're about to say something, just run through this little mental flowchart. First, ask yourself, is this a completed snapshot? If the answer is yes, boom, you found your tense, preterite. If not, go to question 2. Is it a description, a habit, some background scenery? That's your imperfect. Still no? Okay, question 3. Is it in a time frame that's still going on, like today or this month? Perfect, that's present perfect. And finally, did it happen before the other past action in my story? Then you need that flashback tense, the pluperfect.
And here you go, your ultimate cheat sheet. This brings everything we just talked about together. The tense, its main job, and some classic trigger words that are huge clues. Words like ayer, yesterday, will almost always point you to the preterite, while siempre, always, is a dead giveaway for the imperfect. Definitely screenshot this one. It's an incredibly handy tool to have on your phone.
And there you have it. We've taken this confusing maze of grammar and turned it into a logical system that's all based on a storyteller's point of view. It's not about which rules to memorize anymore. It's about which lens you want to use for your story. A snapshot, a background video, a recent event, or a flashback.
With these tools, you are now totally equipped to talk about your past with confidence and, with some style. So the only real question left is, what story from your life are you gonna tell first? Happy storytelling!